That Lucky Dress by Margaret Drabble. She wanted a prom dress like all the other girls. Of course she did, poor kid. She'd had a hard time with her mum so ill, and I wanted to step in. But those dresses cost a fortune. Some of them pay hundreds. It wasn't like that in our day. We didn't know what a prom was in our day. We had a sort of end-of-term school dance, but it wasn't up to much. It's all different now. It's a big deal now for the girls. And she pleaded, Nan, I really need a new dress. Need? I didn't say. Crystal, you don't know what need is, because she does know. She needs her mum, and we're worried she may not have her much longer. I daren't tell her that. I try not to let it show. But I think she knows. She's no fool, our Crystal. It was down to me. A stitch in time, make and mend, but it's all Primark and throw away now. I've forgotten how to sew, and my eyes aren't that good these days, nor are my fingers. I used to make her mum's dresses when she was little, but I couldn't do it now. Crystal deserved better than I could ever make. You can get second-hand on eBay, but she didn't want second-hand. She got this picture in her head, a floor-length white sheath and a sweetheart neckline with silver trimmings. She'd even sketched it for me. She's good at drawing. It was a nice dress, I'll say that for it. It wasn't one of those tarty, sexy numbers. I couldn't object. And she does have lovely shoulders. So did I when I was her age. Shoulders worth showing. So it was down to the money. She'd been working in Iceland on Saturdays, but you can't save much on that. And they kept cutting her hours. It's not very reliable. So I lay awake, worrying. And then in the small hours I suddenly thought of Dolly in Wolverhampton. It came to me like an inspiration. Dolly would know what to do. I rang Dolly and she said, let's meet in Beatty's for a coffee. I hadn't been to Wolverhampton in years. I went on the metro. What an adventure. I'd never been that far on the metro. I've been from West Brom to Bilston, but never to the end of the track. It's a nice ride. It's still there, Beatty's. People say it's not what it was, but it looked better than most of what's left in West Brom. Dolly never married, but she had dozens of nieces and nephews, and now she's got great-great-nieces and great-great-nephews. I know I'm old for a grandmother. I know Crystal thinks I'm old. They have their babbies so young now. They have them the day they leave school. I was 30 when I had Bob. I've been working 12 years at the glass factory, and I was 40 when Crystal's mum Louise was born. Some of them these days are grandmothers before they're 40. The glass factory closed. I liked it there. I still see some of my mates. We meet at the club on Wednesday afternoons. Dolly's an amazing woman. She knows all about fashion and clothes and costumes. She used to work at the BBC wardrobe department at Pebble Mill, and I got to know her when she was helping out with the costumes for the Operatic Society. She used to make such lovely things, so delicate and inventive. Though she's a big woman, not at all dainty or doll-like. A big, strong, brawny woman, nearly 6 feet tall, built like a biker. Maybe that's why she likes making pretty things. Things she would never wear herself. Yes, said Dolly, I'll be Crystal's fairy godmother. I'll make her the best dress of the year. But it can't be a surprise. She'll have to come to me for at least one fitting. We talked about my Louise, and all the tests, and chemo. She'd lost her hair, my poor daughter, and was refusing to wear a wig. She wore scarves, but she wouldn't wear a wig. I didn't know how Crystal would take to a dress made by Dolly, but she got into the idea of it all right and came back quite excited. Dolly had shown her the photos of the ballroom dresses for that TV series about Queen Victoria, and she'd seen Dolly was a real professional. I paid for the fabric, out of my savings, but Dolly insisted on doing it all for free and adding all the trimmings. She said she loved stitching on the beads and the buttons, and I think she did. Her fingers are still nimble, not like mine. Some of the precious bits and pieces came out of her box of treasures. She'd been hoarding for years. It's nice to see them come in handy at last, she said. Crystal looked a picture that evening. She looked like a princess. She looked like a sweetheart. She looked a Bobby Dazzler. "You'll turn their heads," said Dolly, who'd come round to send her off. We were proud of her, Dolly, Louise and me. We knew Crystal had her heart set on Prince Charming in the shape of Ted Garner from Black Lake, who'd been walking her out for the past few weeks, and he turned up now to escort her, pleased as punch and looking well turned out for the occasion. They're not always very gracious at that age, the boys, but he made the best of it. He was on his best behaviour. I think she'd told him about her mum. Otherwise, she wouldn't have let him come to the house, would she? Louise had her appointment with the surgeon the next day. She'd been too poorly to take much interest in the prom, but she'd made an effort to be nice to Ted, and she'd been thrilled by Dolly's dress. "I think that's a lucky dress," she said, as Crystal swirled and posed in her shining white and silver, with her neat little ankles and her silver shoes. So young, so flawless, so healthy, so immune to all deadly ills. "I think that will bring us all luck. I know it will. It's all going to get better. Enjoy your dancing, you two. Dance for me. Have a great evening. It's all going to be all right." I didn't believe her. I was full of dread. I thought she was being brave for Crystal. I was fearful for my daughter. But it was so. The hospital was pleased with her. It's good progress, they said. She was responding well. It's very hopeful, they said. The surgeon was pleased with her himself. Even I could see that. She was a credit to him. And now, a year later, he says she's in the clear. She'll have to have checkups, of course, and keep on with some of the medication, but she's in the clear. Ted Garner's been replaced by a red-haired chap from Netherton called Sam, and Crystal started a course in photography at Sandwell College. We move on. Dolly and I often meet for a coffee these days. We favour the Great Western Cafe in West Brom, or the Metro in Bilston. And Louise's hair has grown back into strong, springing, tight little brown curls. She's a new woman. Yes, it was a lucky dress.